Stop number 29 on the Castrol GTX Cup Series brings us to our second visit to Martinsville Speedway, Martinsville, Virginia, is where we're at here today. And for the running of the, there we go. The running of the Goody's Fast Relief 500 is we're set for 75 laps of action on this .526 mile short track, the shortest and the slowest of the short tracks we go to on the series. In fact, this is the next to last short track race on the season. The last one will be the next race on the tour at North Wilkesboro for the Tyson Holly Farms 400 for that event. But today we're at Martinsville, and here's the lineup of today's running event. On the pole is Cole Deaver in the Oreo Chevrolet car number 3. So we're looking for that first victory of the season. The man beside him has got 2 already this season. That is Chris Dollerton. He won at Talladega in Texas this season. Second row has a pair of 3-time winners this season. Charles Samper at number 29. He's on the outside of the row. He won the last race on the tour at Dover along with Pocono and at Bristol. Starting inside of Samper is Jessica Shelton, the number 17 RB Ford. She won the season at she won the season at Riverside, Watkins Glen, and at North Wilkesboro. The third row will have Keith Batson in car 32 and number 2 Dylan Young, 2-time winner season so far. Fourth row has Benny Watson in 14, or not Benny Watson, Benjamin Miles, in 14, the Navy Chevrolet. He won at Darlington this season. He'll be alongside the Daytona 500 champion, along with two other races. Kyle Matthews has a 235-point seed coming into this event at Martinsville. The fifth row will have Johnny Gardner in 22, the winner of the season at Darlington and Michigan. He'll be alongside Indy winner Joshua Osborne in 33. Sixth row has nothing but McIntyres, Levi in 60 and Matt in 37. And they're no relation to each other neither. Seventh row, Quentin Moore in 89 and 99. Benny Watson, who won the season at Rockingham. The eighth row will have Mike Becker in number 45 and 27. Jesse Turner looking for the Martinsville sweep this season. He also won at Pocono. Next row is Kat Batson in the Track Gear Ford number 9. She'll be alongside Carter Friesen in 36 of Stanley Tools Pontiac. Next row down is Gene Sanford in 21 and the Reese's Chevrolet, who won the first race at Talladega. She'll be alongside Sky Collins in 62. Next row has the 18 car of Ashlyn Boyd and the 8 car of Rob Evans sitting alongside. Next row down has Eli Brighton 15 and the 38 of Nathan Hudson. Then it's a pair of 1-time winners this season, Jay Jefferson, who won the season at California, and number 4, William Brock, who won the 600 at Charlotte. Next row down is Ryan Brommer in 5 and 7 car of Zach Winkle. Next row down after that will be Trey Wright in number 34 and 57, Henry Sanford. Next row down has James Henry in 74 and 87, Deion Moon. Next row down after that will be Mitchell Collins in number 12 and 44, Vince Almarego, who won the Pepsi 400. Next row down after that will be Elijah Gordon in 66 and number 63, Diego Yepes. Then it's Simon Bloomfield in 10 and 00 of Aiden Shepard. Next row down is Bobby Frazier, number 1 and 2-time winner Zachary Fitzwater in 39. The Mobile One Dodge, who won the season at the first Dover race, along with the day race at Bristol. And starting shotgun in the field will be the winner at Sonoma this season, Joshua Collard in the Auto Value Bumper to Bumper Toyota. Collard dropped a couple of spots in the points after the last race on the tour at Dover when he was the first car out of the race because, actually it was a header failure is what it was, but for all intents and purposes, it's an engine failure on the Auto Value Bumper to Bumper Toyota. So getting set for 75 laps of action at Martinsville here today. Here, Cole Deaver is one of our drivers carrying in-car cameras in today's event. Jessica Shelton will be another one carrying an in-car camera, and along also with Keith Batson in the White Rain Ford. Those 3 carrying in-car cameras in today's event. So the front 3 starters on the inside rows will all be riding with today. Here comes the command to fire the engines here for the Goody's 500 at Martinsville.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Martinsville is tough on 2 things. out of all the short tracks on the tour, Martinsville is tough on two things. One is, of course, engines, and the other, of course, are one of course is engines because they turn so many RPM on this track, and the other is brakes because this track is known for long straightaways and very tight hairpin turns, much like what you see at Turn 11 at Sonoma. So, engines and brakes are the two things we'll definitely be looking at Martinsville as far as this race goes along. Off to number 4 they come, and the green flag is flying here for the Goody's 500, and we're underway at Martinsville. This race, the 29th stop on the Castrol GTX Cup Series, so we have 6 races to go, counting this one on the season. Remaining races of the season will be at North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, Rockingham, Phoenix, and, of course, the finale at Homestead. Cole Deaver out in front. Jessica Shelton looks to the low side for second place as she gets by Chris Dallerton, and she may bring Keith Batson with her in 32. Lap speed's not much speed as far as laps are concerned here. Lap speed's here about just a little over 90 miles per hour here at Martinsville. Johnny Gardner trying to get by Benjamin Miles in 14. Johnny and Joshua Osborne, meantime, getting by Dylan Young, and he's going to bring Kyle Matthews with him. A pair of black and red cars, and meantime, Quentin Moore trying to peek his nose to the inside of Osborne, but Dylan Young tries to pull a crossover, and meantime, Quentin Moore moves Matthews up the track. And that's for 10th place, Quentin Moore in 89 and Matthews in 24. On board with Keith Batson in car 32. Batson has won here at Martinsville before. We get a chance to look at the in-car camera and the tachometer, which is this very gauge right here. Down to about 4,600 or so in the middle of 1 and 2. In the middle of 3 and 4, I should say, upwards of 8,500. So not much. So apparently some of these guys some of them taking very conservative approach on the RPMs, of course, which is really no problem in some ways. But you see, of course, as far as a lot of it could be the gearing they have on these cars here, which takes them from such low RPMs up to such high range RPMs, as you see. And you see Batson again down about maybe 4,600 in the middle of the turn, and now up to upwards of about 8,750 going into turn number 1. So Batson runs 4th at the moment. Here 5th is Charles Sanford. 6th place right now is Benjamin Miles. Johnny Gardner's in 8th, or 7th position, I should say. 8th is Joshua Osborne. 9th is Dylan Young. 10th is Quentin Moore. Kyle Matthews is 11th. 12th is Matt McIntyre. Good day for him. Jesse Turner 13th in the Castrol 27 car, the Casey Atwood colors. Kat Batson's 14th. 15th, Gene Sanford. So 2 of the ladies running with each other. Kat, of course, is Keith's wife, and Jean Sanford, of course, the sister of Charles and Henry Sanford. Opposite ends of the country too. The Batsons from the state of Maine, and the Sanfords from the state of California. Quite a contrast in states, I might add too. Benny Watson's in 16th. 17th is Levi McIntyre. 18th is Ashlyn Boyd in car number 18. Mike Becker 19th. 20th is Carter Friesen. 21st is Jay Jefferson. 22nd Nathan Hudson. 23rd, Eli Bright. 24th, Sky Cummins. 25th is Ryan Brommer. 26th is Rob Evans. 27th is Trey Wright. 28th is William Brock. And moving up from 41st to 29th right now, Joshua Collard. 30th is James Henry. 31st, Mitchell Collins. 32nd is Elijah Gordon. 33rd, Simon Bloomfield. Bobby Frazier trying to get around Henry Sanford. That's for 34th, I believe. It is for 34th. Frazier tries to get the bite off the turn as they come off the fourth corner. There's still 7 seconds between the 57 Chevrolet and the number 1 Dodge. Frazier getting to the low side by side in turn number 3, and here comes Zachary Fitzwater in 39. He's going to try to help Frazier by Henry Sanford, and he is going to try and do so. And that's for 34th place again. All the while, though, Fitzwater is going to try to figure out a way around both the 1 and 57 cars as well. Looks to the low side of the track here. Frazier to the low side, Sanford to the high side, Frazier to the low side, and Frazier had 34th. Now Fitzwater has the spot now. So Fitzwater's car's fast as well, as you see the rest of the field right here. And meantime, we go back to the front. It is still Cole Deaver, the leader of the race in car number 3, the Oreo Chevrolet. Believe it or not, still yet to win a points race this season. He won the All-Stars at Charlotte, by the way, where we'll be heading to 2 races from now for the Melly Yellow 500. But he's opened up to a pretty good lead right now. Jessica Shelton's second, usually really good at Martinsville. She's won here a bunch of times in this series. Chris Dalton, a good solid 3rd position right now. Then Keith Batson in 4th, and 5th is the car of Charles Sanford. Riding on board with Jessica Shelton, as she runs 2nd at the moment behind Cole Deaver. We talk about the RPM setup we had on Keith Batson's car. As you ride inside Shelton's car, she tries to get by Deaver for the lead. And see, going into turn number 3, Shelton up to about 87.50 on the RPMs, and now Dalton will move in on Shelton for 2nd place as Deaver goes by Diego Yepes. And down to about 4,500 RPMs in the middle of 1 and 2, and up to 87.50 in the middle of 3 and 4. But the interval right now is about 0.6 of a second between the 1st and 2nd place cars here, as Deaver having trouble getting around Aiden Shepard in 00, and Shelton trying to move up on Deaver for that top spot. And Deaver finally puts the bumper to Shepard's cars. They go into turn number 1. So 3 cars for the lead at the moment between the 3, 17, and 23 cars. 2 Chevys and a Ford going at it here at Martinsville Speedway. But meantime, Dalton is going to try to make a pass on Shelton's cars. They go into turn number 1. Passing story is usually the same thing at Martinsville here. It's usually the same at Martinsville. Casham's one thing, but Passam's a whole other story. To where eventually the point is, you saw with Deaver's car on Aiden Shepard, you had to kind of put the bumper to him occasionally. Meantime, the 44 car, Vince Almerega, next one under the gun with Deaver. And Shelton trying to pull up to the back bumper again as they go into turn number 1. There's the rear bumper game from Cole Deaver's view. was like the right off the back bumper of a car at about 90 plus miles an hour, 120, almost 120 heading into turn number 1. Deaver now riding the back bumper of the 7 car of Zach Winkle as they go through turns 1 and 2. And again, Shelton trying to close up. Deaver will move to the low side of the track here as they come off turn number 2. Shelton this time falls to the inside of Deaver, tries to fall to the inside lane. Trying to take the lead here at Martinsville. In the meantime, Chris Dallerton has gotten by Almarego, and he's also trying to hold off Keith Batson. That's letting Batson and Sanford and actually make that now Benjamin Miles now trying to take 5th position away from Charles Sanford. That's not going to happen at the moment, but Miles is trying to get by the 29 car. And whoa, Shelton just completely missed turn number 1, and here comes Dallerton to the low side trying to take 2nd place as they come off turn number 2. Shelton says no, and she keeps 2nd place at the moment. And now Batson's gotten by Zach Winkle, and now he's got no cars between he and Dallerton at the moment. Batson has our front bumper cam on the White Rain Ford Thunderbird. Some good racing going on here, but going on here for the positions. But that's of course all negative because of the lap traffic that's happening. As Dallerton's still trying to get around Jessica Shelton for 2nd place. And he looks like he might finally do so as they come off that 4th corner. In the meantime, all this is letting Cole Deaver pull up to a very substantial lead right now at a second and a half. Now looking for 3rd place there is Keith Batson as he moves inside. Shelton dropping back because of the left turn. She got trapped behind Henry Sanford in 57. Here comes Dalton for 2nd place now as Cole Deaver has checked out. Literally checked out as they come off turn number 4. He is all alone now. Now with a 1.99 second advantage, almost 2 seconds on Chris Dallerton. And Batson's going to take 3rd position. Shelton, meantime, drops another spot now to Charles Sanford and to Benjamin Miles, it looks like. That's another thing about short tracks, though. You get caught up on the high side, though. There's no finding your way down on the low side, it seems like. And then you get hung out to dry, much like you would at Talladega. So Charles moves up to 4th, Miles up to 5th, Shelton drops now to 6th. At the moment, as they go in as they come back off into turn number 1 again. Now there's no traffic between Chris Dallerton and Cole Deaver. But also Deaver, who a few laps ago was being challenged for the lead, well, not anymore right now for the time being, as he's now completed the 40th lap. We have now 35 laps to go, and the next car up ahead of him is Simon Bloomfield in the 10 car, along with Elijah Gordon and Mitchell Collins. Dallerton, of course, you remember, lost a lot of points after a late race crash right on the under caution at Dover when he accidentally hit somebody going into turn number 1 and then damaged his car up and eventually got sent up in the upside down. Dropped him down to, I think, down to 5th in the standings coming into this event at Dover, I believe. Charles Samper, who won that race at Dover. He's now up to second place over in the points behind Kyle Matthews for the lead, but he's still 235 points behind for that top spot. As you watch Keith Batson getting around, Batson having a good day today. He's up to third position right now in that number 32 White Rain Ford. And Batson, like Cole Deaver, still also another one yet to win a race this season so far. He's got a few races to try to do it. Here, as we said, the first race will be down to 6 races to go. Actually, be down to 5 to go. Actually, after this race, actually, believe it or not, because this is 29 out of 34 on the season. Deaver's now gotten around Simon Bloomfield. Now he looks behind the 66 car of Elijah Gordon. Interval about a second and a half between the first and second place cars. So we watch Deaver's car. And he's got second fastest lap at 94.172. Jessica Shelton currently the fastest car on the track in the race at 94.251. And average speed just a little under 93 miles an hour, 92.953 to be exact. Batson's still third. Fourth is Charles Saber, and Jessica Shelton's now gotten by Benjamin Miles at the fifth position, and so too has Johnny Gardner for sixth. Miles drops to seventh. Osborne's eighth. Ninth is Matthews, and 10th right now is Dylan Young. Here comes Matthews to the low side of Osborne for 8th place. And whoa, Osborne just about cut in front of Matthews' car almost, but Osborne thought better of it. So Matthews takes position away. Now he confronts the lap car of Henry Sanford in the 57 car. I will say this for Kyle, though. He was going to take the 57 car at first, though, before taking the 24 ride, but Matthews made a wise choice. Turns out Matthews made a wise choice to switch back to the 24 car, because that 57 car has not had a good season so far this year. Whereas that 24 car for much of the season has run like Jeff Gordon back in the 90s. That car has been dominant. Has not won a lot though. Only 3 races on the season. Only Jessica Shelton and Charles Sandberg can match that at 3 wins of their own. But Matthews' car has been running pretty good. Has had a few hiccups here and there this season, but nonetheless, a good season so far for the 24 team. Meantime, the interval is shrinking between the 3 and the 23 cars right now, as Cole Deaver has now been chopped to under a second between he and Chris Stollerton. As we completed now 52 laps, we're now down to 23 to go here at Martinsville. To make matters worse for Dalton, he's got 2 lap cars between he and the 3 car of Deaver for the moment. and seems like the leader gets by the lap cars better than the cars behind him do. Take a look at the rest of the running order for you right now. Osborne's 9th, Dylan Young's 10th. 11th is now Matt McIntyre's. He's gotten around Quentin Moore. Moore's in 12th. 13th is Jesse Turner. 14th is right now Gene Sanford. 15th is Levi McIntyre. 16th is Cat Batson. 17th is Benny Watson. 18th is Mike Becker. 19th is Nathan Hudson. And 20th is Carter Friesen. 21st position about to be exchanged between Sky Cummins and Jay Jefferson. Ashlyn Boyd's in 24th at the moment. Or 23rd, excuse me. 24th is Eli Bright. Collard's 25th, so he's going to find himself losing more and more points after being 6th in the points coming into Dover, but that is going to drop again. Trey Wright's 26th. 27th is Zachary Fitzwater. Then it's Brommer, Evans, and Brock the top 30. And Cole Deaver is now, as we go back to Cole Deaver in the lead. At the moment, his lead between he and Chris Dalton right now is 97 hundredths of a second between the first and second place cars. Dalton is now one car between. There's one car between he and Deaver for the moment, though. If he can get by James Henry without any problem and get up to Deaver's back. Remember, if Deaver has any problem trying to get around William Brock in the 4 car, Brock probably will stay with the 4 car next season with the Kodak car for the 1999 Winston Cup car set. Whereas, of course, Deaver will stay with the 3 with the GM Goodwrench car. This time by, we'll have 15 laps to go. Cole Deaver looking for that first win of the season. Change for third spot. Charles Sanford's gotten back around Keith Batson for third. And now he's under the gun from Jessica Shelton in the 17 car. Shelton in 5th. At the moment, Batson running in 4th. Thunderbird versus Fusion, a pair of Fords going at it. Deaver now is trying to get around William Brock and try to put 2 cars between he and Dalton at the moment as they go into turn number 3. Dalton trying to push James Henry and follow through as they go off turn number 4. Dalton got loose off that 4th corner. And now Deaver's going to try to get around the 8 car of Rob Evans. That's not going to happen as they go into turn number 3. And meantime, battle for 4th position going on right there as Jessica Shelton's now gotten around the car of Keith Batson. And meantime, Batson's now under fire from Johnny Gardner. Ford versus Dodge for that 5th position. And Gardner gets around for 5th place. And now Benjamin Miles tries to go low in the 14 car. He's running in 7th position. Kyle Matthews again running in 8th. You saw him in the background. Now Shelton's going to try to take 3rd spot from Charles Sanford. Ten laps to go. 9 this time by. Cole Deaver out in front. He's led since the green flag dropped. 9 laps remaining in this race here. Rob Evans and Ryan Brommer just up ahead, the 8 and the 5 cars, both of them giving Deaver trouble at the moment. But Dalton, thankfully for Deaver, thankfully for him, Dalton also having trouble trying to get around the 4 car of William Brock. And meantime, Brock looks to the side to try to unlap himself. And Dalton's going to try to take the low side now as they go into turn number 3. Deaver gets moved up the track now. Here comes Dalton trying to keep it low. And Dalton got loose going into turn number 1. He didn't want to do that as they come off turn number 2. That's letting Charles Sanford and Jessica Shelton maybe back in this race as they go up in the 3rd turn. James Henry's trying to stick his nose in the low side of that 23 car. If Dalton can keep his car low on the track, he might have a shot at getting around Deaver. There he goes as he goes into turn number 1. Dalton on the low side on Deaver on the high side of the track as he comes off turn number 2. And the turn number 3 now. Dalton's right there. Deaver out in front now with 5 laps to go. Third place on the screen right there. Sanford versus Shelton. 4 to go. And Deaver again, he slips up high. Darton to the low side in turn number 1. Darton and Deaver side by side on the back stretch. And Deaver again throws the block, and now he moves to the low side now on Brock. And Deaver said, I've had enough of being on the high side. I want to get back low. And he does get back low now with 3 laps to go. Darton trying to switch low again as they come off turn number 2. Does Darton have enough for Deaver as they go into the 3rd turn now? Darton's now by the 4 car of William Brock, so let's see what happens on the last 2 laps. $3,500 separating the top 2 cars at the moment. Will it be Cole Deaver or Chris Darton in the winner's circle here at Martinsville? Off to number 4 they come. Cole Deaver sees the white flag. He has 1 to go. He has not been passed all day long. Not yet, at least. Gets a little bit loose in the turn number 1. Darton drove it hard that time by off turn number 2. He's up on the back bumper. And Deaver moves to the high side. Darton to the low side off turn number 4. Darton sticks his nose to the low side. Deaver's car side by side. Deaver wins it by a half a car length over Darton. And Darton gives him a congratulatory bump as Cole Deaver finally shakes that monkey off his back and wins here today at Martinsville. What a finish! And I tell you, Darton, that really should have been Darton's move coming to the white flag right there when he went inside of Deaver coming off turn number 4, and he would have had a good run on him in turn 1 and would have gotten him. But nonetheless, Deaver, I tell you what, I say Deaver's got to be thinking that was too close on that one here. But nonetheless, it is Cole Deaver winning today in the Goodies 500 at Martinsville from the pole. And that should help him in the points as Jessica Shelton comes in. Shelton's going to come home 5th in today's event. Average speed 92.166. Cole Deaver wins. Chris Darton 2nd. 3rd, Charles Sanford 4th. Will go to Johnny Gardner. Jessica Shelton 5th. 6th will go to Kyle Matthews. 7th to Benjamin Miles. 8th to Keith Batson. 9th to Chris Darton, and Joshua Osborne will come home in 10th. As we so 29 races are in the books and 5 races are left to go as we head to North Wilkesboro next on the season for the running of the Tyson Holly Farms 400. Rest of the finishing order for you here. Matt McIntyre comes home in 11th, then Quentin Moore, Gene Sanford, Jesse Turner, Benny Watson, Levi McIntyre, Nathan Hudson, Carter Friesen, Kat Batson, Joshua Collard, the top 20 in today's event. Excuse me. Rest of the finishing order for you here today. Mike Becker, Ashlyn Boyd, Sky Cummins, Zachary Fitzwater, Jay Jefferson, Eli Bright, Trey Wright, Rob Evans, Ryan Brummer, William Brock, the top 30 in today's event. Then James Henry, Mitchell Collins, Elijah Gordon, Simon Bloomfield, Bobby Frazier, Henry Sanford, Dion Moon, Vince Amarego, Zach Winkle, Aiden Shepard, and Diego Yepes, the top 30, the finishing field for today's event. So North Wilkesboro's next on the schedule, as we said here, as we are down to the final short track race of the season for that race. If you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. We got everything on the channel. We got everything. We got. We don't have that. We got in our races, gaming videos, whatever the president of the NNSCRA says calls ours for his channel, and please be sure to check out the Last One's Light Series, Coors Light Truck Series, Pizza X Series, Hershey's Cup Series, Skittles Super Speedway Series, and the Duracell Cup Series. Be sure to check those races out as well as Mike Roman's Boas are All Pro Series, also available on this channel, and also subscribe to Thrash Maniac 99 to become part of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, and become part of that series as well. Some of the softball series are under the NNSCRA umbrella, and you will not regret checking those races out neither. So again, congratulations again to Cole Beaver, the winner of the Goody's 500 at Martinsville Speedway, his first victory of the season. This is pronounced James Qualson. This is James Qualson, the production of the NNSCRA. Offline racing at its best. We will see you at North Wilkesboro.